recording. Okay, so in here, right, let's go to the our terminal here. So in JavaScript, I mean, we learned, right, how JavaScript work, correct, yesterday. I mean, how the engine, JavaScript engine works and all that. Yeah, the thing is, you always pay attention to the basically how you can write a code, right, the correct code. Okay, so in here, right, you can look at this. In this example, if you look at here, right, these are the file name, correct. So there are 1 2 3 4 different exercise, right, and they all have special meaning. Why these are here, right, because of the special meaning. Okay, so in this exercise, so let's say for example this, right, expression dot exercise, right. I will just quickly go through this. So let's build in this folder. Okay, and in this one I will make this file string. So for string JS, right, string expression, see, when I say string, right, you should always remember it must be inside the quotation mark. That is a data type, right. What you can do is you can add to string like this by using plus signs, plus symbol, right. You can add to string easily. The space, even you can add space in between, right. Let's say here is a space and York, right, that is a space. Okay, if you need to put like a apostrophe like this, right, you must use a single quote, and on the outer side, right, you put double quote. Okay, you cannot use double quote, single quote in here and then again single quote here, right. You cannot do that. You must use double quote and then apostrophe, right, for any apostrophe symbol. So just remember, anything, if that is a string, must be in the quotation mark. That's it. That is what you have to remember, right. And what is console log? Console is the API, right, of the browser. Okay, this is not something, this is not a JavaScript, this is something to do with the browser. So browser give you some space, right, where you can display the JavaScript code. Okay, for testing purpose, right. That is what we're doing here. Okay, so once you put this file, and I just run this code, right, pressing F5, I'll just use a node to run, and you're gonna see the result here, right. Okay, so see why I get this space here, New York, right, because the space of this, if I remove that space and run again, right, that two will be attached together. See that? So in order to get space, either I put space here or I can put space here. So that will be two different words. Okay, so space is also a string here, right. Even if you add a space in between, that count as one character. Clear? So that is a string. Now next is math, right, number. So what gonna happen with the number now? You know already number, right? This is simple. Okay, all these are simple, right, except the modulo operator. So this gives what? Remainder, right? This gives remainder. Okay, this gives remainder. Just remember that if I have to find, always look for, don't take this as a math, right. Don't take this as a math. You should be console log 2 plus 3, that's the 5, right. Okay, the output will be 5. In the console it will display 5. Same way for all this, right. But here 5 mod 2. So when you divide 5 by 2, right, it will be like a 2 times 2 4, the remainder is 1, right? So this is a modulo operator which gives you remainder. So remainder will be the result, the output will be what? Here 1. So now then can you tell me what is the output here now? 6 mod 2, right? What will be the output? Just tell me what is the output here. Hello, Jen there? Okay, you didn't answer. Okay, fine. So, when you divide number 6 by 2, modulo operator, right? That remainder, that will give remainder. So that will be 0, because it will be divide like 3 times, right? 2 into 3 is 6, and remainder is 0. All right, so let's continue this. So I can copy this, right, and bring it. I want you guys, just do quick revision, right? The reason I actually do all this revision for this one, okay? This is the one, right? You have to be very, very careful and understand this, okay? So the false, not true will be false, right? Not false will be the output is true. So here will be not true, means false, and again not false. Again the other one, next not, right, will be true. Now this is the logical operator, and operator, or operator, right? And or operator. So in and operator, only time it will return true when the both side is true. That's it. Other than that, all will be false. So false and false will be false, false, true, false, 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 false. Sorry, true, false will be false. Just remember, and both has to be true to return the true. So this is one you have to remember, okay? And also for or, right? In the case or, all will be true, and only time it will be false when there is both side false. So even one is true, then that means true. Or means either one or something, right? This or that, whatever is true, right? That is true. So that is true, okay? And here will be false. Now the symbol not false, right? That is true, and that is false. So you should know not false should return what? True, right? True or false. So you should know what is output here, right? So just check all this. Here is a comparison, right? Why we need this? The logical operator and comparison operator. Why? Because we need to compare something to get the boolean value, true or false, okay? This will give us true or false, right? We need to check if that is true or false. Based on that condition, we apply our logic, right? It's very, very important, right? To you must practice this. So this will be, I asked you guys to do a study, right? I don't know if you have done or not. So just go through this, practice that, right? Just do the revision, quick revision, right? Practice this. You can watch the lecture here, if you have to walk through exercises here. Click that, it will give you the video. Even I don't have to record this. These are already here, right? Already there. I don't have to record even this one, but anyway. So yeah, so let's go back here in the exercise. In the C, right? What is inside the C? Yeah, so now it's more like a test, right? Whatever we learn in B now is just the little bit more advanced, right? So in this one, what will be the location, right? You adding the string now, Brooklyn, and comma, and there is a space, ny, right? It so location will be Brooklyn space ny. Okay, quantity should be, so it will be multiply 20 plus 1, right? 21. Okay, so same way now you have to figure out, right, what is happening here. So what gonna happen, right, with this variable? So the in the memory, right, the variable will be created and it has a value of 99. Then in the next line, around equal to bottle of beer. So the bottle of beer is the name of the variable, that is equal to 99. So you are getting here 99 minus 1. So around will be now 98, because you are reading this new variable around and it has a value. What is the value here? 98. And what is the value of bottle of beer? This is still 99, right? There is no change. So you know, so same way you have to practice all this, right? I mean, these are the, I think for you guys now this will be very, very easy. Okay, so please do this, right, quickly. Okay, the next one I will go to the next, because this one we have done many times now and there should be no issue. So the first one is conditional, right? Conditional. So walk through exercise, everything is there. So how this if work, right? How this if work now? How this work, right? So let's try, right? Let's do some quick exercise. So okay, I will leave this one for now. I will go here and then create conditionals. So if I say when I can change, right? So 0.js. Okay, so let's copy this 0.js. Okay, I will copy this, create a file, and copy all this, right? So we all know, right, based on true, the if block only works when the condition is true now. So everything we have learned in 0 0 exercise, right, in here, everything we have learned in this expression exercise, to how to get the boolean value. Okay, somehow you have to get true or false inside this if block, and that's it. If you manage to get that, if something is true, then do something here. If not true, then there will be else, or you can jump to the else if and all that, right? Different, you can do the more testing. Okay, so that's how these things work, right? Let's run this code. I mean, you know already what is the answer, right? Let's run that. Okay, see, because this if is true, run that. You can write many if like this, right? Does not matter. Okay, if I put again here, so I will just have to make it true, right, in order to run, right? True, and then I will say, or second time, let's call it second true, right? Second true, and this will be true again, and then call it bar third, right? Third true. Okay, and then save and run the code. Look at that, second true. So you can have many if as needed, right? Does not matter. Okay, so now next will be, so just quickly look at here, right? False or false means or logic, right? That's the or logical operator, means both side is false. Always remember there will be false, so that not gonna work. Now true or false, so we know in or logic, if any one of the condition is true, that will give you the true value. Yeah, so this will print beep. Now same thing here, right? Let num equal to 40 if num is greater than 0. True, right? Okay, see, that's the comparison now, right? Comparing the number. So that's it. Here is what modulo operator, right? Num is 40. 40 mod 2 equal to what? The remainder will be, this is a remainder, right? Modulo operator. This will give you what? Remainder. So it should look like this. I saw you before also, right? So let's check now. So 40 mod, right? And then 2. Look at that. The result is 0, right? Okay, we get a 0 remainder. But now to get the true or false, I just have to compare, right? If I said if that is true, I mean that is equal to 0. So the remainder here will be 0 equal to 0, then return true. See? So what we get here? The if block will, this will give us true condition now. And then it will print 0. So the reason I ask you guys to please repeat this many times, to remember, at least remember all this, and I know most of you know already, some of you have little difficulty, right? You still need some more practice. The people who has problem, please do some exercise. These things are simple but very important, right? Without this simple stuff, the whole JavaScript not gonna exist, right? So you're gonna have to do some kind of testing, you're gonna have to do some comparison and all that. So same thing here now. Word is zip, right? Word is square. So now, why we need square bracket, right? So to read any character, okay, any character, right, in this value, you must need to put square bracket and the index. This is the index, okay? You need to pass the index, right? Index. So for string and array, we know that index start from 0, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. So P is at 3, J is at 0. That's it. So J, this will give what will be the output. Now you always look for the output. So output J equal to D, right? J equal to D. Console log yay. If that matches, yay, right? Else nay. So here it will be false because J equal to D, that is false. Then it will jump to else nay, right? That is false, means nay. Now same thing, here is a sentence string, right? And sentence dot length minus 1. So now this function length, right? What the length will give you now? Basically the length of this string. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3. This is 5, right? The space is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's the 10th. But if I say index, what is the index of the last item? So it's always the formula, right? Remember, length minus 1 means sentence, this string dot length, so that will be whatever 10, right? Minus 1 means, because it starts from 0, right? So that if we do minus 1, then it will be okay, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's the 9, right? So this is 10. Sentence dot length is 10 minus 1, that is 9. That means we get the last item equal to T, that is true. Then the console log ins in T, it will print this one, and that's it. So again, you have if condition here. If the sentence dot length is greater than or equal to 4, do this, else do this, right? I mean, this is the easy part. So now you guys have to do the same condition, right? You have if, else. If this is for true, do that, else do something else, right? Now there is one more thing, right? Else if, okay? So why we need else if? Else if is similar to if you want to do like multiple check, right? So here you comparing, if that is false, then it will jump to this if, right? Else if means check here. If that is false, again check here. If that is false, then only print else. But if out of this, if even one of them is true, then that will be, that block will execute, or that block is going to execute. So else if is same like else, but it just comes after if, and you do the comparison, different comparison, right? So we can take this example, right? 0, let's call it a 1, right? Maybe, or I don't know what is the file name here. That's the 2. Yeah, 2.js. Okay, so copy that. So if you look at this nonsense string, this is a big long string, and then inside this string, right, has okay. So we are looking for has okay, right? It means there is okay or not. So here is okay, right? Okay. So we just find the index of this. Okay. So how we can get that? String dot index of okay, right? If that is greater than -1, yeah. If there is, then it will be whatever number, right? Let's say 40 or 30. Greater than -1, yes, that is true, right? So here has okay is what? Now this become true condition. The output is what? Here is true, right? True. Now we're gonna check. So here has okay. So what is that? That is true. So it will console log yet, that's it. And then this whole thing is done, right? If this is false, what gonna happen? Then it will check again. Else if nonsense dot length is greater than 10, then here you're gonna get also true, right? Then it will print yo. But when the first item is true, then after that it will not check. Okay, that means it is stopped. If block is stopped now. Same way here, right? Had zoo. So nonsense index of zoo. So there is zoo or not? Let's see. No, right? There is no GOO. So that will be false. Since there is no index, that means the number whatever we get here, right? That will give you like -1. If you cannot find any index, it will give you -1. Okay, so it works something like this. Let's say this is a string, right? Some string, okay, like this. Let's call it zoo here. And I say dot index of, right? Index of, and I will find something. Maybe I just want to find cat, right? Let's find cat. See, I get -1. See that -1? Okay. Now we what we're doing, right? We say, is greater than -1. So I get false. If I cannot find something, the index will be -1, and that will be false with this comparison. Okay. So in that situation, what should I do now? And also for the fun, right? What will be the has fun now? So f is there, fun. Yeah, here is, right? So that will be true. Now this will be true. This is false. So we compare now. Now this is the result, right? You have to check had zoo, that is false and true. So in AND condition, even one of them is false. This is false, right? That's not gonna work. So here, else if has okay, right? Has okay is true, correct? Has okay is true. So it will just print this line. That's it. Done, right? Even it will not check here. Even though this is true, right? But our work is done here. So finish. Yeah. Yet, and see, this is the line, right? Yet and red, right? It will print yet, and then here it will print already. Okay. So that was the all about if, right? If, else, if, and all that. So what I want you guys to remember this. Okay, please remember that, how to use if, else, if, and all that. The reason I'm just going through this, right? Because I hope you guys will practice this enough time. Okay, so the next one is function. This function will be interesting, correct? So let's put this inside here. So what is function now, right? So the function is basically what? Anything, right? I mean, there is only two things in JavaScript, variable and function, right? Which is the heart of the program, right? First, once you know the database, sorry, all the data type, string, number, boolean, null, undefined, array, object, all that, right? Once you know that, the next one, you know the conditionals, the if condition, the conditional, right? If, else, if, and else. That is the one part. Basically, second part, right? And before that, we learn about all the operators, right? Math operator, logical operator, and yeah, logical and conditional operator, right? Like greater than, less than, equal to, all that. So you just think about this for many, I mean, just repeat yourself, right? Just write down in the book, try to understand, just repeat it couple of time, right? I mean, more you practice all this, the reason why we do all this practice, right? So that you can remember that everything like very easily, when you're writing a long code, you don't have to worry about, oh, what will be condition here, or how I should compare or something like that. That's why these things has to be done like many times. Repeat, right? Even simple things you repeat it. If you know 100%, whoever know, right, you don't have to worry. But I'm just saying for the person who has difficulty, right? So simple thing, repeat to get out of the difficulty. There is no problem, right? There is no something that, such thing called problem. Okay, you just have to change the status, right now you have like you know less, right? You practice more to get out of that situation, right? You just have to move out of the situation. Okay, there is nothing called problem or I don't know. Okay, that there is just a situation, and that situation, you just have to get out of that situation. That's it. Never think like this is a problem, this is difficulty or something like that. Just go through, practice, and get out of situation. So even in our life, right, if there is something which we don't like, means that is the situation, right? That is not a problem, that is just a situation for now. Okay, just get out of that and done. So how you going to get out? You have to think, right? If you don't think that, you know then you have to think again what to do, right? So okay, so this is the function, right? Function. So again, what I will do, right? I will just create simple function and let's do the exercise. Okay, so in function, right, I will just do it index.html, and then I will say, maybe let's call it function.js. So the function, you can you can define like this simple function, right? Add, and then you can add here, let's say let n equal to 20 and let y equal to 30, and then let sum, right, sum equal to uh, n plus y. Simple, and then what you're going to do with this, now there is a value, right? So function must return something. So if I just run this function, what's going to happen? Let's run this, right? I'll just do console log. Okay, this function. Okay, so what you're going to get the answer here? Can you guess? We talked about this, right? Undefined. Because if there is no value, if you don't return anything, right, the function will give you undefined. Now I will just return the value. Function must return something, right? So if there is nothing, it get undefined. But now I return the sum, this variable, right? In the memory, there is something called sum, right? And that is what I'm returning back. So let's run this again. We get 50, right? 20. This is simple math, I'm just returning that value. So this is the one way you create function. The next way is what? Now you can store the whole function in the variable. So I will create the same, right? Same function, or let's call it sub, right? Subtract, okay? Subtract equal to, now I don't have to give name like this, okay? This will work, right? For just, and I will bring the same thing here. Now let n equal to 20, let y equal to 30, and I will just do sub, right? Sub equal to y is greater, just leave it like that, but minus, right? Subtract and return sub. Yeah. Now what's gonna happen if I return put F5? So you get 50 here, but I have not used this function, right? I have not. So what I should do now? Console.log. Let's put this sub, right? This is a variable, okay? This is a variable, so I'll just put the variable name and see what happens. Run again. See, this variable holds our function definition, correct? We define the whole function. What is function now? Function is a piece of code, right? A reusable piece of code means you can reuse it. You can design the function in such a way you can reuse, right? So everything in JavaScript is a function, okay? Almost 99% of the time you're just going to write function to do something. Everything is function, function, function. Then you store the data in the object, right? Or maybe array. So so this is the another way, but this is the whole function. But this means function, right? I just have to do what? Execute the function by passing this parenthesis, right? See, that will make this function run. Invoke means function is going to invoke. So what is the job of function now? So that is the function invocation, right? And we have to we looked inside our code, remember how the function works, how the memory is created and all that. So the memory will be created inside the function block here, inside this function, right? When the function executes, the whole separate memory block is created, right? So that's how it works. But anyway, if I run again, see that 20 minus 30 is minus 10. Yeah. So this is how the things work, right? But let's there is two function. The thing you have to understand from even from static class, right? What I said, the memory creation, how the memory is created, how the function behaves, how function executes, right? And all that we talk about that study. So what I will do, I will create a couple of variable here also. Let var equal to var is equal to 40. Not let, just one, right? Var equal to 40. And let school equal to whatever, right? Class 9, something, whatever I put here, So these are two variables, and let's check now, right? I want to quickly go in, let's console log, right? Console.log is console.log school. Yeah. So these are the few things we are doing here, right? And we have a console log for the subtract and also for the add here, right? So how this whole thing gonna work in the code, right? how this whole thing, I'm going to explain one more time. Okay, so let's see if my tab work right quickly. I supposed to have fixed that. It work after the class, I fix it, but this online sometimes, I connected that. And let's see. Just give me a second. Okay, we have a few minutes, so we'll just practice this. So this is a simple function, right? This is a simple function, and we will see how this work in the code. But before that, I also want to connect right here quickly, and then we can experiment also, okay, if we get time. So source equal to function js, right? Save that. Okay, so what I want to do now, how this function will work, right? How this gonna work now? Let me minimize this, and let's open my what you call that, paint, right? Let's put it here. Okay, so what's gonna happen now, right? In when the JavaScript program runs, this is what you have to pay attention. Okay, the first thing first, right? It will go and scan the whole program here. JavaScript engine will scan the everything here, right? So what it gonna find? It will find this block. Then this is nothing right now. It's just scanning everything, right? It will when it scan the whole program, right? It is looking for the function and the variable. That's it. So here nothing, right? So here is a function. Here is a variable. Even though this is a function, but this is right now variable, okay? And here is a variable. Here is a variable. Done, right? That is the first part. So what's gonna happen, right? Okay, so it will create it gonna create the memory, right? What we call that? Execution context, right? Context. Okay, oh my god. So let me okay, see if I can make it small. And that is, I think that is fine. So it will create what? Execution context. And my handwriting is not good, right? So how execution context looks something like that, right? Okay, so it gonna have two things. Even I cannot write correctly here, right? But it's better than the mouse. It will be have memory, and then here is a code, right? Code execution. Okay, so this is called thread of execution. Thread of execution, right? Means why thread of execution? It here is a code, right? One code, second code, line by line it will execute. Okay, it will go line by line, one line at a time, right? Okay, like that. But let's delete this for now because we're gonna do something else there. Okay, so and this is called what? This is called a variable environment, right? variable, variable environment. Okay, so memory creation. So what I said, the first it will scan the whole project, right? And it will find the function and variable. Okay, so let's find the first function. What is that? Add, right? So in case of function, it will store the whole function. Okay, that is what it is stored here. And it has next function subtract, right? tract, like that. And here will be whole function definition. Okay, now the next is what? Age, right? age. So that is what undefined, right? Undefined. And then after that school, right? This will be also let, so it will be also undefined, defined. Okay, so now that's it. That is all the memory, right? Creation. Now the code will start. Okay, the code runs, right? So it will go on the top. So how the code run, right? This, it will not do anything here. Okay, it will come here. First line, the code is doing something is here. We logging this function. Okay, add, right? So that is what our control will start at line 9. So we are in the line here, right? Line 9, right? And what is that? The function is this add function, right? This is the, and I should be writing straight in, I don't know. And okay, so this function will run. This is the add function, right? So what it is doing, it will do the same thing. It will create memory and the code should run, right? So add function is going to invoke. So here is the add function running. Okay, this add function, right? I just create these things for add separately. So what is inside the add function? There is a variable called n, right? This will be also undefined right now. The y variable, this is undefined. Okay, and then there is a variable sum, right? Sum equal to also undefined. Now the memory creation is done. It will run the code, right? So now n equal to how much? 20. So we get 20 here. Y equal to 30, right? So y equal to 30. So we get, it will be gone, right? And 30 will be replaced here. Now the sum, right? N plus y. So it will be, I'm just writing here, but just remember that is what happening, right? So the sum will be 50. So the 50 will be added here. Next is return, right? So now return sum, right? Sum. So when it return 50, that 50 will go where? To the, because we have the function, right? Sorry, we have the console log. So just create something called console log here, right? This is a console. So that console log will just print the 50 here. Okay, now it will jump, the next line of code is happening, running here, right? Subtract, same thing, same like this, right? So just imagine this is also a subtract block. Once this finish, right, when add is done, it will be removed from the memory. Okay, it will remove, right? And the next line is subtract is created. So let's delete this. I can use this and delete, right? But just imagine the subtract will be created again. Okay, this is a subtract now. What happened? Oh my god, subtract, right? So that is a subtract now. So what we have, same value, right? But here is the what is that? Sub, right? Sub. Okay, so this will be again same thing. All the memory will be created, then the value will be subtract, like y, what is that, n minus y, that will be minus 10, right? So minus 10 will be stored here, and then finally it will return sub, right? Sub will be returned, and that value will be stored in not stored, but it will just console log, right? So it will be minus 10 here. Next line of code is what? Here, right? Console log age and console log school. So it will just find age. Console log age will be find from the memory, right? Here, see, here is what, 40, correct? We have a 40 here, right? So it will be 40 log here now. And then the school variable, school has the value, right? Basically it will go here, right? It will go here, it will assign the value a to the age 40, then go to the school, it will assign the value class whatever, right? Class 9 something assigned here, and then console log will print all that, okay, in the console. After that, the console log school will be basically what is gonna happen, it will print that class 9 in school. So that's how the whole thing work, right? Means just remember, function will create its own memory block, right? And like execution context. This is what function execution context. Okay, that's the function execution context. So that is what happening, right? I mean, I can show you in the code now. We have 2 minutes, so let's do this. We go back here in the live view, right? I mean, you guys know already this one, but just quickly recap this. I want you to, get in the habit, right? Like think about what is happening here. So in the function, I'll just stop now, right? I'll put stuff here, stuff here, stuff here, and all this one quickly. And here. Okay, let's run the code, right? Even anything happen, okay? Even the single line of code is run, right? The memory is created already. Look at here. The first time global memory created, school subtract, right? And subtract, this is a function. See that variable, subtract variable, and then school variable, and then school, right? School variable here, let, because we have two variable with let, it will be separate, right? Then there is a var that will go in our global. Okay, the var will be in the global, right? So sorry, as, that is as, right here in the global. See that? Then also we have function add. See that? It's in the first line, right there in the global. That's it, the global memory is created. Now even before any single line of code executes, what happened? The memory has created. Now our control is already in line 9. See, it's ready to execute, it's ready to run. See that? Now code is going to execute. So soon we run, right? Go ahead. That's it. We jump to the function, right? Now look at this, add function is added to our call stack. This means what? The function execution context box is created. So how it looks here? Look at this. The n is there, y is there, sum is there. See that? All these variables in the memory here. See that? And now what can happen? It will execute the code inside the function. So it will assign the value to n, then after that again to y, and then the sum will get, sum get 50, right? See that? And then it's gonna return this sum. Click there and it return the sum. That's it. So if you go back to the console, it is in the console now, right? You is back in the console, and this is giving you this sum, right? Already. If you go back again, you're gonna have 50 in your console, right? See that 50 is there already in console. So same thing for the subtract, right? This is the function. So what happening now? Until now, right? Subtract is what? Undefined. But now after this line of code, we're gonna put this function to the subtract, right? Basically. So let's run this. So now the subtract has the whole function definition. See that? Finally subtract the whole function definition, right? But in case of normal function, it will be added to the global in the beginning. Okay, subtracted function. So now you console log subtract. Here we are using executing the subtract function. See, the subtract is what? The whole function, right? And it will happen the same thing like add. If I run again, that's it, it will jump, it has now n sub y, all this memory created, you assign the value, and then finally it will return the sub. So if I run, see, n got 20, y got 30 here, look at here, right? And sub got -10, right? And then you're going to return that sub -10, and that console log will print -10 now. So if I go to the console log, you see -10 is printed. See that how it working? So after that is now we have two variable, school and the age, right? So if I click now, the value 40 is assigned to age, and we can verify that in global, right? Age got 40. Look at that. Before was undefined, now we got 40, right? Okay, and the let will be separate, right? In the script section. Okay, let variable will be separate than the outside of the global. Okay, they have separate block, right? That's why, let, what is the difference in the let and let is a block scope, right? Means they separate, stay in the separate place, and the var is a functional scope. Okay, but anyway, we talked about that in the later, right? I mean, in later when we move to the next little advance. So in here, school will get the value now. Just click and school gonna have a value, right? See, class 9. And now console log age will be in the memory, and school will be in the memory also. So you get all that value, and that's it for TN 9, class 9. So this is the whole thing, right? How the whole code work. I will stop now. Okay, so let me stop my recording for